Hello friends, and welcome back to our third day of virtual preschool where we're talking about pumpkins. We've talked about the life cycle of the pumpkin. We've talked about how it feels. We described pumpkins. We talked about pumpkin patches. And today we're going to do science and pumpkins together, okay? So let's start out our lesson with our good morning song and our friend Dottie. Dottie has already been sitting here with me because she is very excited about science and pumpkin day, okay? All right, let's sing our song.
Hello friends, how are you? Hello friends, how are you? Hello friends, how are you? We're so glad to see you.
Yay! Thank you for joining us. And today we are going to get started with a little science experiment. Well, we have two science experiments today. The first one here is called sink or float. Do you know what that means? What does it mean if something sinks? It means instead of sitting on top of the water, it's gonna go all the way down to the bottom, right? So in this bucket, I have water. And that's it. It's just a bucket with water. And we're going to talk about if something sinks and goes to the bottom or if something floats like a boat and it just sits on the top of the water oh so nicely. So we're going to play a few different times and you're going to try to guess what you think, if it's going to sink or float. So we'll start out with, do you guys remember what these are in my hand here? Can you see these?
Mm-hmm.
These are pumpkin seeds. Can you say pumpkin seeds?
Pumpkin seeds.
Do you think they're going to sink or float? Think about it.
I think
If I put them in the water, do you think they're going to go to the bottom or are they going to stay at the top?
they're gonna float.
Grace thinks they're going to float. Let's see if she's right. All right, here they go. 1, 2. Can you zoom in over here so you guys can see? All right, 1, 2, 3. Can you see? Maybe you can bring the camera a little closer today. It's okay if you don't see me as long as you can see inside of here. Can you see? Sorry, we're having a little technical. Can you see inside of there? Are they sinking or are they floating on the water? They're floating on the water. Good job. All right, we can take those out now. Come on, little seeds. So we know the seeds float. Now we're going to try the pumpkins. All right. Can you see this little orange pumpkin here in the camera? Do you think this orange pumpkin is going to sink or float? What's your guess?
I think it's gonna float.
All right, Grace says float. Let's see if she's right. Now I'm going to put it in. Can you see? What do you think? Is it sinking or floating?
It's floating.
It's floating, you're right, because look, it's bobbing in the water like a boat, and it's not all the way under the water. It's not touching the bottom, so that is floating. Good job. Now, we'll leave that in there. Do you think the color of the pumpkin makes a difference? How about this orange one? Can you guys see me?
Mm-hmm. See you or the pumpkin?
Both. All right. So this is the orange and the white pumpkin, and I'm probably really close. Hello. But do you think it matters if the pumpkin is a different color? If it will sink or float?
Maybe.
Let's see. Let's look in our bucket here and see, will it sink or float? 1, 2, 3. it's floating with the orange one. So I think it's safe to say that the pumpkins float, right? Okay, now look here, one last one. I have the white pumpkin. Do you think this one is going to sink or float like the other ones?
Probably float.
Let's see. Does color make a difference with the pumpkin floating or not? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. It's floating too. So I think all of the pumpkins will float. It doesn't matter if they're orange, orange and white, or just white. It's going to float. Now, I saved a pumpkin from yesterday that I cut open. Can you see here on the camera?
Mm-hmm.
This one is cut open. Do you think that would make a difference if it would sink or float? Let's have a look and see. Let's put it in and see if it floats like the other ones. Well, it's still floating, but it might eventually sink. I don't know. It's kind of bubbling, like it wants to go under the water. But for now, it's floating. So we'll take that as a float. All right, so that is a fun game that you could play at home. And it's easy to do that with just a bucket of water and some different items. You can see if it will sink or float. And it's fun to guess ahead of time and then check and see if you're right. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly move this out of the way here. Excuse me for standing up. Okay. All right, I'm back now, and we are going to look at a real pumpkin and this picture up here and talk about the different parts of a pumpkin. And this is a diagram, and where did my glue stick go? It was here earlier.
It's in there.
It is?
Behind the tape.
Oh, good eye, Grace. It was hiding from me. So, this is part of school that is something you might do in kindergarten, but we're going to practice it now, is learning different parts of things and where the arrows point is what we need to label. So this first word says leaves. Do you know where the leaves of the pumpkin are? The leaves are this green part right up here by the stem. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue here and put on my word leaves. Okay. The next word starts with an S, and it's called the skin of the pumpkin. And the skin is the smooth, oh, excuse me. Sorry, friends, I had to take care of a little bug killing. That was gross. Okay, back to business here. So the skin is the smooth outer covering of the pumpkin, just like we have a smooth outer covering on our bodies. This is their smooth, and it's both called skin. So our arrow is pointing here to the outer part, which is skin. So I'm going to put this word here, skin. All right. Here's another S word. This S says stem. Can you say stem?
Stem.
Stem. All right, now the stem is the part at the top of the pumpkin that you usually use to pick it up out of the field, right, and carry it. This is the stem of the pumpkin. So I'm going to find it here on my picture. Right here is the stem. I'm going to put my word stem, just like that. Good job. Now we have another S word, and this one says seeds. Seeds. So remember, when we open this and look inside the pumpkin, we can see the seeds live in there. So I think here it's pointing to a seed. So I'm going to put my seed word right there. Seeds. Now, the pulp. This says pulp. Can you say pulp?
Pulp.
The pulp is the part inside of the pumpkin other than the seeds. It's like that yucky, gooky stuff. That's called the pulp of the pumpkin. And the last word is called flesh. Can you say flesh?
Flesh.
Flesh. Good job. That's a big word. And the flesh is inside of the pumpkin, past all the ooey gooey stuff. It's like the hard part of the wall. And that's called the flesh. It's here. So we're going to put our word flesh. Good job. So this says, I can label a pumpkin. Let's read them together. Leaves,
Leaves.
skin,
Skin.
seeds, stem, pulp, and flesh. Good job. I'm so proud of you. All right, now, before we do our science experiment, we're going to play or sing a song. And it's called Pumpkin Faces. Okay, let's find the happy one first. Okay, here it is. All right. Now each time we sing it, we're going to have a different face here. So this is the happy one. Where is Thumbkin?
And where is
Where is Pumpkin? Sorry, I'm singing the original song. Where is Thumbkin? Where is Pumpkin? Where is Pumpkin? Here it is. Here it is. This is a happy one. Let's all have some pumpkin fun. Make this face too. Make this face too. So this is a happy face. Good job. All right, next, excited is what we're going to do, okay? So we'll sing it this time. Where's the pumpkin? Where's the pumpkin? Here it is. Here it is. This is an excited one. This is an excited one. Let's all have some fun. Make this face too. Make this face too. Can you make an excited face? It's kind of like happy, right? Yay! We're so excited. The tune of this song is kind of funny, isn't it? All right, here's a different one. This one says sad. We're going to make a sad face. Where's the pumpkin? Where's the pumpkin? Here it is. Here it is. This is a sad one. This is a sad one. Let's all have some fun. Make this face too. Make this face too. Make a sad face. Oh, so sad. All right, we're going to move on from this, and we have a book. And after our book, stay tuned because we have our second science experiment. Let's see. This book, can you see it? It's called Pumpkin Day, written and illustrated by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace. Daddy, it's Pumpkin Day, said Trudy one October morning. The day we have pumpkin pancakes for breakfast? He asked. Yes, said Trudy. Trudy. I'm saying Turdy. Whoops, that was a little mishap on my end. Daddy, it's Pumpkin Day, said Trudy one October morning. The day we have pumpkin pancakes for breakfast? He asked. Yes, said Trudy. The day we go to pick out pumpkins and buy pumpkin pie? Yes, Daddy, shouted Trudy and Jack together. Well, hooray for Pumpkin Day, declared Dad. And pass the pumpkin pancakes, please. After breakfast, they walked to Pumpkin Hollow Farm. The yellow and orange leaves glowed against the clear blue sky. The fallen leaves made a crunch, crunch, crunch sound under their feet. It says Pumpkin Hollow Farm. Good morning, said Mrs. Bell. There are lots of pumpkins in the pumpkin patch. We have miniatures, pumpkins for cooking and eating, pumpkins for carving, and one that is very special. I'm sure you'll find it. Trudy, what did the sign say? Asked Jack. Trudy read, Welcome to Pumpkin Hollow Farm. It took between 90 and 120 days to grow these pumpkins. Please don't sit or climb on them. Please don't pick up the pumpkins by their stems. Thank you, Mrs. Bell. Joke. What does a pumpkin sow? A pumpkin patch. In the fields behind the farm stand, there were small pumpkins and tall pumpkins, round pumpkins and skinny pumpkins, big pumpkins and bumpy pumpkins. Pumpkins and blueberries are both kinds of birds, kinds of fish, kinds of berries. Which do you think? Berries. Good job. If Peter Piper picked a peck of perfect peewee pumpkins, how many perfect peewee pumpkins did Peter pick? How many did he pick? How many's in a pickle peck? I think 12, right? Or is that a dozen? I like this wrinkly one, said Trudy. Jack patted the pumpkins. They made a thump sound. I want this one, he said. Trudy, do pumpkins grow on trees? No, Jack, they grow on vines, she answered. That's right, said Mrs. Bell. We plant the seeds in the spring after the last frost. They sprout, then grow into vines. The vines grow really, really long as a house with lots of big leaves. A pumpkin fell into a pool. Did it sink or float? We might know this because we just put our pumpkins in a little pool of water, didn't we? And they floated. Good job. All right. At this time of year, the vines are shriveling up, but look, here's a female pumpkin flower. A pumpkin grows from the swelling at the base of the flower. It's green and small, said Trudy. How do pumpkins grow so big? And orange, added Jack. Mrs. Bell took some pictures from her pocket. Well, with the leaves making food and the roots growing in good rich soil, and with the right amount of sun and water and fertilizer and weeding and bug control, the pumpkins will grow from late summer to harvest time. Night and day, they grow bigger. Wow, that's a lot of steps, isn't it? And bigger and bigger. Trudy and Jack joined in. The word pumpkin comes from a Latin word, peepo. Peepo! They both giggled. Mrs. Bell laughed too. Yes, peepo. It means ripened by the sun. As the pumpkin ripens, what happens to the color? It changes, exclaimed Trudy. Look, Trudy, this one is the one I want, yelled Jack. Wow, Trudy shouted. It's a Maxima variety, says Mrs. Bell. Maximus can gain as much as 5 pounds a day. Holy smokes, that's a lot. I wish it were the kind for making pies. It would sure make a lot of them, said Dad. Yum. Who's going to carry this giant pumpkin home? Asked Mom. As a memory, say pumpkin pie, please. And they got their picture taken. All right, we're going to end the book right there. There's a couple more pages, but I want to make sure we have time for our science experiment. So I'm going to switch spots with Grace because she's going to do our pumpkin experiment, okay?
Probably take my jacket off and stuff, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna open this and dig that out, and I'll give you the next pieces.
Hi guys, it's Grace.
Okay.
Take my jewelry off because you want to make sure that you don't get anything dirty. So first I'm going to start by taking out all of the icky, gooey insides of the pumpkin. So you're going to want to wash your hands after this because this is super slimy and gross. See, look at all the pumpkin seeds.
Ew.
It doesn't smell that good either. Unlike pumpkin pie smells really good. Okay. Don't you want to use these?
Yeah, but we can get it again later.
Okay.
Alright, so now we're gonna switch out to our foil pan.
I got most of them. See, now my hand is all orange and slimy. So put this in here?
Mm-hmm.
Like in...
Oh, it's not gonna fit. That's okay. Take it out.
Take it out?
So explain what you're gonna make.
Okay, so we're going to be making a pumpkin volcano. Doesn't that sound fun? So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of the ingredients inside the pumpkin and it's going to explode.
What ingredient is that?
This is baking soda. So see, like on the box you put it in cookies and you can use it for other stuff like cleaning, but we're going to be using it to make the pumpkin.
So it's just a white powder.
How much do I put in here?
That's good.
Yeah, so it's a white powder, and it's when you add the vinegar, that's what's going to make it fizz up. Just like our, what did we do last time? We did rainbow fizzies with the baking soda, remember? And when we added the colorful vinegar, it fizzed up. So I don't know if you can see this, but inside we have our baking soda, and then here we have blue vinegar, and we're going to add this in. Whoa!
That's cool. It's like purple and blue.
That's pretty cool. Purple's my favorite color, so I like this.
Do you hear it sizzling?
What are you looking for? Dump it over? Oh. There's a little bit more left we can add. See? And then it's fizzing up again.
Woo! So with your extra pumpkins, you can clean them out and make a pumpkin volcano if your grown-up says so.
Bye guys, I hope you enjoyed our little experiment.
Alright friends, so like I said, if you have these items at home, you can ask your grown-up to help you. It's a really fun science experiment. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed our lesson all about pumpkins, and stay tuned for next week's videos where we're going to start a new topic, okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye guys.